Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 10:59 a.m. In 1 minute it will be 11. Angel numbers. But anyway, I don't know what my angels are up to lately, but I guess I'm alive. I'm still smiling. I've still got my beads in my hair since Friday night. And I'm still cooking on gas. I'm still in love with life and my beautiful friends. Haven't heard from my friend Jared lately. He's probably busy. But yes, I'm keeping myself busy with my videos, my garden, having a nice cup of tea. I'll have to go to a doctor and get a script for more Ventolin because my asthma's back with a vengeance. Probably the turning of the season, although it hasn't felt any cooler. It feels just as hot as it has all summer long. But my body's very sensitive to even the slightest changes. So here we go. Wheezing away. Had a rough night again. But not too bad. I only got up about 6 times, and most of the getting up happened in the early part of my sleep phase, so I got at least a good solid few hours this morning of rest between pee breaks, and it's very debilitating, but here we are again, another day in paradise, holding on against all logic and reason. I listened to a podcast by an old podcast by Art Bell interviewing Father Malachi Marty about exorcisms, and it's a bit confronting because I fit a lot of the criteria. Survivor of child sexual abuse, literally sold out to a pact to the devil in some way by my own mother and father by their negligence and enablement, and I think my mother actually did try and sell me out because the cascading of demonic events happened from the age of 6, and my mother sort of started to prosper financially by the time she met Case on the cruise ship coming back from Germany when I was 8 going on 9 by that stage, or 8.5. She did indeed start to prosper. So, if I were a Catholic and an exorcist, I'd look at the picture and say, Tanya, you're completely harassed and under some fucking demonic influence, right? But it's probably a lineage, because my grandmother was mad and inflicted a lot of physical violence on my mother, and I don't know what her childhood was like back in my grandmother was born in Berlin and Charlottenburg to a Polish mother, and her mother had come out obviously from Poland looking for work, and I'm assuming was raped or just got caught out by some man that didn't do the right thing by her, because my grandmother was born illegitimate in the Charité hospital. But I'm assuming she was raped, because young girls in those days didn't end up in that situation lightly. And so I'm assuming, I'm assuming my great-grandmother gave my grandmother a life of hell, and that's why she was so mentally disturbed and violent towards my mother Gisela. And let's bear in mind that concurrent with that, my grandmother Eva had also survived World War One and World War Two probably tipped her right over the fucking edge. And I also suspect that my grandmother's biological father, who no one knows who he was Jew, because she kept a little tiny Menorah Chanukia, and she advocated against the Nazis as best as she could, which was a dangerous thing to do in Nazi Germany, and could have got her shot. And I think the only reason she probably wasn't sent to the camps was there was no evidence of who her father was. So yes, I suspect that her father, biological father, this is all circumspection, people, because I don't have any evidence. But I suspect he was a landlord, and my great grandmother had gone there probably as a servant girl to clean, and maybe they had an affair, or maybe he raped her. I don't know, but I think that's where things began to unravel in my great-grandmother's life, and in my grandmother's life, and then my mother's life. And then I came along, determined by the age of 6 to convert to Judaism, because I didn't like Christianity saying we're the only ones that go to heaven, we're the only special ones, and only Jesus can save us. It's there's something evil about that. So although I listened to the wonderful Catholic priest and exorcist, and I agreed with a lot of what he had to say about oppression and harassment and by something demonic, and that it's often in a family lineage. The same can be said about shamans too. And I only recently, in recent years, claimed that I am indeed a shaman, because I have the life path that fits all that criteria too. And then I also have the lineage of ancestral witches with my mother's biological father, who was a practicing, very, very powerful witch. So his abilities were utterly astonishing, people. What my mother and her half brother and sister witnessed him being capable of doing was not a mere parlour trick or a magician trick or sleight of hand. It was supernatural what he was capable of doing. So, of course, I never met him. I wasn't born till 1965, and I don't know when he died, but he was elderly in the 40s during World War II, so he probably perished not long after, or passed away not long after. I must actually try and search for his death certificate in Germany, because I'm curious to know if he died in a concentration camp, because he worked a lot with the Roma people. They came and brought their caravans of, their gypsy caravans would come in droves and park all around his apartment. One night a year they would come. I don't know what the particular meaning of that night was in their culture or what that was about, but they would come and visit him, and they would sit with him and study with him all night. So he was obviously imparting some of his knowledge that he had gained over the years, and they must have held him in quite high esteem to visit him annually, when they were coming through Hamburg. So there's more to that story than meets the eye too, but again, I only know the bare facts that they were parked up for blocks around his apartment and would spend the night talking with him or studying with him. So he was obviously deemed to be a person of merit and of high regard in their culture. I've got a photo of him. He looks like a savage, cantankerous, nasty old man, but then so do I now I'm old. Well, savage, cantankerous, nasty old woman at times. My grandfather did come through many years ago and say he would teach me everything he knew, but that hasn't manifested, and I don't join cults, and I don't join covens, and I don't join magical circles other than having my own little thing going. So the opportunity for learning from people with great knowledge has not really arisen, and any knowledge I have I've gleaned from reading, studying, and the occult, often from methods of protection, given my life history of attracting fucking psychopaths into my life, or demonic hell-ridden entities, let's face it. So I needed all the protection I could get, and I did joke with my psychiatrist recently when I saw the former lover behind me at the red light at opposite the cemetery, that I need an old priest and a young priest, and I'm only half joking. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a full-blown exorcism, given how much weird things seem to keep manifesting on a regular basis. But I just ride through it. Maybe I'm in denial because, they say the devil is a great deceiver and can fool you into believing he doesn't exist. Well, I know different. I know there is great evil. The COVID epoch is just one fine example of that. But evil definitely exists. But I heard Father Malachi Martin, he's dead now, this was an old radio program, state that it's just gone out of my head what I was about to say. Oh, there was a few things he stated. Lineages handed down through family, which is really handing down intergenerational trauma. And if you keep drawing in the same circumstances over and over and over again, healing from one set of circumstances, and then almost the same circumstances arising again, but different names, different faces, it's actually the same demon. And I actually believe that, I do believe that. Oh, that's right. He was saying some people are capable of conducting their own exorcisms, although he doesn't recommend it, because he's Catholic, of course. He promotes that you invoke Jesus' name and you do it through a proper exorcist. And, that's sound advice. You need a professional when you're dealing with the spirit world, because you can't see actually most of the time who or what you're dealing with, and you can be told anything. Like I was somehow convinced that Dave Charles was a nice guy, and David Davidson had my back and was a decent man, and Michael Aarons I thought was a jolly, friendly, happy-go-lucky, sweet person that was going to give me a wonderful life, and all those fucking lies and delusions I fell for as a younger woman. So now I'm 50, almost 59, I'm like, I soak up the sweetness that's shown to me, but unless it follows through with actions and, says, come on, Tanya, I'm going to date you, I'm going to prove to you that I'm the man, I just look at it as all a little bit of sweetness, but like chewing on fairy floss, in a circus or in a fairground. It's sweet and it's delicious, but it melts in your mouth and dissipates so quickly, and it's not quite real. Sometimes it'll give you a bit of a stomach ache if you overindulge in it, or a stomach ache, although thank God I'm past that season in my life, but you know what I'm saying, don't you? I'm wanting a real solid, nurturing and nourishing and loving. And when I say nourishing, I don't mean feed me and make me fatter people like some fellow I was interested in me had a fantasy of. I mean nourishing as in, we're in love with each other and we have each other's backs, fronts and sides, and a man who's proud and happy to have me by his side, and whose friends all accept me and treat me with sweetness. Not like the last relationship I had where I was threatened by the fucking friends, and it was savage what went on. The demon in me just said we should kill them all, but that's demonic. It's not real. I know that's not real, but there is that dark thought runs through my head after the way I was so badly treated. Part of me thinks, I hope they all just get fucking COVID and die, those evil ones. But the reality is, it's not how the world works. You have to forgive, and move on. Well, I don't forgive them, but I forgive myself for not realising that I had invited more demonic entities into my life. Yet again, because the Holy One in all manifestations seems to like to see me dance on the cold face of hell and see what I come up with, clutching in my fist my own triumphant glory or my own barest survival. And someone up there or down there finds it entertaining, and I'm a bit sick of it. It's why I want my next partnership not to be something demonic and ugly and soulless, but beautiful and kind and honouring, respectful and fun and loving and affectionate, and someone who's proud and happy to be my man because he sees my spirit, my soul, and he knows how far I've come in life and what I have fought back and fought against since early, very, very early childhood, probably even earlier than when the child sexual abuse started, quite frankly, because I was starved in utero and I was starved for the first few months of my life. I had such intense neglect and abuse. I don't know how I'm even alive today. So there I go again. Malachi Martin, doctor, because he's a doctor of spiritual, whatever, doctor of religion, said, some people are protected. And he says, even I don't question that because I don't know the mind of God. So he said, if you've been protected and you have that prowess that you can conduct your own exorcisms if need be, he said, more power to you, but tread carefully because you can be lured into a false sense of security. And that's true. By the gods, by the Holy One, that is true. So anyway, that's my little thoughts for this morning. It's sort of triggered me a little bit thinking about things, how, in any battlefield you choose your weapon, right? And the weapon that has been handed to me time and time again to slay my spirit and winnow me down and verily, verily bring me to the brink of death, not once, but many times, has been via love partnerships with men, because I'm, monogamous and heterosexual. And when I'm not an asexual celibate, I'm definitely a very passionate monogamous woman with my man, whoever I think I'm in love with at the time. There's a telling thing. I think I'm in love with them based on they treat me and throw a few crumbs my way or scraps of love, and like a whipped fucking dog, I slavishly fall in love with them and think, oh, well, this one might be wonderful and we might build a wonderful life together. And boy, was I wrong over and over again. But you see, that's the weapon that my personal demon uses to winnow me down, right? Sends me false men. So the man I'm in love with at the moment, who is not available, so it won't go anywhere, because I'm well aware of the demonic history that I have lived through and it would be totally wrong to destroy someone's life over what? Over a bit of sex and a bit of romantic frottering. So I won't go there with it. But the man that I have a sweetness and a fondness for at the moment is returning that energy to me. I am sensing it and feeling it, and I am appreciative of that. What else have I got left in life but the love, the scraps of love thrown to me, like probably out of pity, or, probably think, oh, the poor bitch, look at her, she's so old and she's so crazy and she dances like an idiot. Here, I'll throw a few crumbs, right? I'm trying not to cry, because that's probably the truth, people, that I'm not wanting to really incorporate into my worldview, because I want the romance, and I want the gift of love pouring out to me, because I had this fantasy even in my 30s as a young woman that one day I would find my true love partner, right? I'm not crying over this man. He's a sweet man and a kind man. There's nothing to cry about. He's done me no harm. He hasn't. He's very sweet and encouraging, and, But I'm crying over the fact that I've never quite made it. I've never quite made it, got it right in close to 59 years. So, and I shouldn't cry, because I'm an amazing, wonderful woman, and I've literally fought back demonic influences by myself with my own prayers and my own magical workings. Yes, I do indulge in magical workings from time to time, as I said at the beginning of this video, primarily for my own and my children's protection. The irony is I do have Catholic ancestry on my father's side. I didn't know we were Catholic when I did the family tree. I found out they were all Catholic. So maybe that's why the Holy One gives me extra protection at times, because he knows at my core, although I have a fierce, terrifying, almost demonic looking temper when I unleash it, which is why I don't unleash it lightly, people. And although I am a shaman, and that rage that builds up inside me is absolute power that can be absolutely corrupted, and also was often maligned and twisted, and I was falsely accused of being violent and had not one but 2 DVOs put on me by con men. The first one, my husband, to drive me from my business. Even the policeman that served the papers said it was obvious that was what was going on. But they went ahead with it, right? If they knew it was obvious that I was being financially abused, raped and stymied by my former husband, they should never have taken out that DVO. They should have looked back at him and said, well, what's your role in all this? What are you doing to your wife and kids? But no protection for me ever. So this is why I had to be my own warrior goddess and stand in my own authority, literally, and exercise the motherfuckers at every opportunity when I can, because they were feeding on me like vampiric leeches. In fact, even speaking about them is still keeping a conduit open for them to feed. I'm very conscious of that too. So maybe I will seek out an exorcist one day, just out of curiosity, to see what he has to say. I do remember, the second DVO was, this is just for the record, so you know the truth about me, people. As I stand in my own authority, but I stand in my own truth too. The good, the bad and the ugly. So the second DVO was taken out against me, and I think I was under the effects of some black magic spell done by my own mother on me. I found the spells in her pantry when the public trustee gave me permission to remove all her chattels when she was shovelled into a high care facility by her stepdaughters, right? Evil it all was, but I couldn't have looked after her anyway. But anyway, what was I saying? That second DVO was supernatural, how that was taken out on me. It really was. I was sent to stand and wait outside the wrong courtroom. Quite certain that old biddy that was in charge of sending me there had taken a bribe, sent me to the wrong courtroom, missed the entire hearing. The thing gets taken out against me. I'm standing there 5 hours later, still waiting for what's going on. The staff have CCTV. They would have seen me waiting there. In fact, one of the staff members said, I saw her waiting and wondered why she was waiting. Why didn't she do her job and say, why are you waiting outside this courtroom, madam? Like, can I help you? Is there something wrong? Yes, something was very, very fucking wrong. Very wrong. And that man, my mother, who later married my mother, my demented Alzheimer's patient mother, by the way, the whole thing was evil and farcical from woe to go, and the government, the Australian Queensland government here, enabled it all. But anyway, he said the most outrageous lies about. He said that I was poisoning my mother with Valium, just utter mad shit, you know. Anyway, I myself was taking Valium at the time for my own medicinal purposes because my nerves were shot to the pieces by those two entities. But anyway, so that DVO got taken out on me against my will, and his lawyer came out and even sneered at me and said, ha, got you. Got me good for what? I've done nothing wrong. They accused me and the DVO of smashing up my mother's house. I never did anything to her house. Where were the photos? Where's the photos of the damage? Where was the evidence? There was no evidence. It was all lies and slander. But this court here at Holland Park, you know, because I didn't appear in the courtroom because I was sent to the wrong rooms, waiting outside the wrong room, just pushed it through. Judges, incapable of doing their job, right? Oh, don't worry. When they finally realised, when I finally said, well, I saw the people leaving, I realised that I'd missed out on the whole hearing. I asked to see the judge. I said, I was sent to the wrong court. I've been waiting there the whole time. Why? Oh, it's too late. I've made the orders now. That's how they spoke to me, like some dog. So, sorry, but there is no justice in the Queensland court system. There is no justice for women on their own struggling with, at that time, mental health issues as well that were quite severe. I was pilloried. I was marginalised. I was isolated. I was slandered by my own government. I was demonised, literally demonised, and I had done nothing wrong except go and try to be supportive of my mother. Anyway, 5 years later, was it 5 years later? 2008. 3 years later, the public trustee, probably knowing that they'd screwed me every which way by letting that man get away with his con artistry, said, oh, well, you can have the chattels, go and get them, here's the key. Gave me 3 weeks, and then after a week said, you have to stop going, cease and desist getting the chattels now. Neighbours have complained about you taking the chattels. What's it got to do with the neighbours? Running to the stepdaughters again, acting as little spies, slandering me again. I had permission to have those chattels, my mother's chattels. Right? By the way, then I had to fight for them during the will dispute because they wanted to charge me $50,000 for what? Shitty old couches and broken down shit. and air conditioners that they said were worth money they were just shells. There was no machinery in them. It was all a scam they ran. But no, I'm the asshole. It was unbelievable. I almost suicided throughout that will dispute on 4 separate occasions. It came very, very close. And then ironically, I dragged myself through that absolute horror enabled by the government, the public trustee, the adult guardian, dragged myself through that absolute demonic horror and got my small inheritance, my car, my teeth and my bed, and that's all I got out of it really. Few bits and pieces, but that, I gave money to my kids, which I shouldn't have done. Can't even be here for me when I think I'm dying with my bladder, right? Oh, you're always dying, Mummy. I need a letter from the palliative team doctor to prove that you're dying before I take any notice of that. Fuck off. My own daughter, the last one I kept in my life because I thought she might actually love me. No love for me. None. No love for me. Where's the love for me? So it's probably not an accident that I get a little bit silly when I go out and I see this handsome, gorgeous man who I've supported both his band and the other band, Ramjet, now for 13 years, various venues, not just for their benefit, but because I like to go dancing. I enjoy dancing. That's been my only outlet for, stress and sometimes major trauma, is to just keep going dancing and living my best life, if for nothing else as a rebellion and a defiance against my entire fucking life and the people that both spawned me into this planet and the shitty relationships I'd had in the past. So this man showing me a little bit of sweetness and romantic overtures had me think, oh, someone finally really loves me. And I know that's ridiculous and silly. I know I'm a realist. But I've enjoyed that and I'm grateful for that because it kept me going after Beauregard's death, and then some other fucking demonic, fucking hell-ridden thing playing games with me too. I don't know why men do that. Why play games with me? You're not interested in me? Fine. Fuck off. Live your best life. But don't play games with me. Anyway, I'm okay with that. I've got a long history of men seducing me in and being sweet and charming in the beginning. Some of them more than others. And me thinking, oh, finally the one has chosen me. No, there is only one in my life, and he's a jealous God. Doesn't let me have a life partner, and he kind of tortures me too. Yes, I'm talking about God here, not the devil. He kind of tortures me and just gives me just enough money to just scrape by, and then he'll rip something else away. Last year it was my dog. Or he'll just give me enough hope to keep me going, and then he'll rip something else away. So is it any wonder I started even questioning my faith in my Jewish God, the Holy One, creator of all that is, was, and never shall be? Is he really the supreme being, or is he actually something quite demonic, as some of the occultists say now that the Abrahamic religions are all actually based on worshipping some entity that is actually quite evil and cruel and capricious? It does make you wonder. It does. If you look at my life, what I've been put through, even though I maintained that faith all the years, I'm so convinced that there is a God that is a creator and nurturing and loving, that I still won't quite leave that behind. I still identify as a Jew, even though I don't actually practice Judaism really at all anymore, except for Hanukkah, lighting the candles, which is a minor festival, by the way. But it's my defiance, triumph over oppression that holiday represents. By the gods, you could carve that into my flesh, how I have triumphed over oppression, over and over and over again, but only because the Holy One sent me earth angels who gifted me with their own heart, soul, and at times their own money, because they wanted to see me triumph over the oppression. To my beautiful one, and others like you that have gifted me too. And not all my gifts were material, financial gifts. Some of them were deeply spiritual. Some of those gifts were hard won on the threshing floor of grief and trauma, because they were gifted by my enemies, David Davidson and the last Dave. The gifts were spiritual because I had to overcome their viciousness and rise above and rise above, and fucking, did I mention, uprise in my own energy and spirit and rise above and continuously heal my heart, my kintsugi'd, broken, held together by duct tape heart. I call it spiritual gold, but let's call it what it really is. Just slapped on layers like an onion, rebuilding after each scarification by something dark and malevolent and fucking evil. My kintsugi screw together almost mechanical heart that keeps this flesh suit alive. And when the miracle happens, and it is indeed a miracle, that I start to fall in love with another man and just respond to the sweetness that he bestows upon me like a blessing. When I start to return that favour, that sweetness back, and open up my heart again, imagine it opening up like wings, ready to almost fly at the fuck out of my chest and just fly to my beloved one and say, I'm your woman if you want me. I know, sad, isn't it? Silly old lady. Oh. But that love I opened up and bestow upon you, like a fucking benediction. Yes, I said fucking. The priestly benediction. What is the priestly benediction? Can't think of the words right now, it'll come to me. May the Lord let his face shine upon you, and may the Lord gift you peace. And there's a third part of that as well. See how I still can't let go of the Abrahamic conditioning that I came into this planet with, and that I started to integrate into my little soul when I was 6 years old. At the same time frames, sitting there in little Lutheran churches with people telling me that they're the only holy ones and only Christians go to heaven and everyone is doomed to hellfire and sulphur and brimstone. Little me, age 6, already being sexually abused and molested and treated like dirt and literally thrown to the wolves of predators in my family. Little me, my little Jewish neshama, of course at that age I didn't know was Jewish, sat there saying this is all completely evil and I can't subscribe to this. Didn't use those words, of course. I put my little hand up and said to the minister, what happens to the Jews, the Muslims, the Hindus, and all the people who don't believe in Jesus? Oh, they go to hell, Tanya. They don't go to the kingdom of heaven. Well, I was so distressed by that thought that I might be special, but everyone else has to be discarded to hell just because they don't worship the same way. I was like, no, this is not my religion. Not in my religion. And I looked up at him and I thought to myself, I'm not a Christian. 6 years old, I was thinking this. Then I'm not a Christian. I don't belong to this. If you're going to demonize every other religious person on this planet, or non-religious person on this planet for that matter, then that to me is evil, because God is light and love and inclusive of everyone. Every single soul on this planet, including the dogs and the cats and the birds. I know Catholicism and Orthodox Judaism preach that animals don't have souls too. Ba-ba! Wrong again. If you've been loved by an animal, been with them when they birthed their little kittens or puppies, been with them when they passed on into the void, into the next dimension, into Valhalla or Nirvana or wherever we go when we leave these physical shells behind. If you have loved, then you know animals have souls, people. Anyway, 6 years old, I started to realise I was trapped in the wrong religion, with the wrong people, with the wrong family. That I did not belong on this planet, but that I would have to make a good fucking go of it, because the only way out is through death. And one thing I do agree with the Catholics is guard your soul. Guard your soul for as long as you have it, because there is a death that is beyond death when you completely cede your soul. I do believe that much. I'll agree and concur with that. So I'm holding on to what's left of my soul, my neshama, and I'm holding on to the ridiculous, naive, schoolgirlish hope that I have a man out there who loves me deeply and truly and will join with me and be my partner one day. And it may not be in this physical incarnation. It may be someone that I meet when I transition from this life at long last. So there's a reason why I'm still alive, people, and it was against my own will. And Dr. Father Malachi Martin went on about suicides, because they're all very cruel about suicides, and says you cede your soul and you're punished for that. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. But I know I wasn't allowed to suicide. Each time the gods vomited me back to earth, or at one time when I was very seriously contemplating suicide when I was living in my mother's house after I'd had to move back in with her after serious violence and abuse and threats against myself and my children. I won't go into that story now, it's too ugly, but you can read about it on my vocal media under, I wrote about it under, I can't think of the title now, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was living with my mother. I went back to live with her for 8 months, in which I came close to dying then because the oppression was intense, spiritual oppression. I turned my face to the wall and prepared to die. That's how bad it was. And actually, my mother's friend, who was a Mormon, freaked out because he knew. They were so boundaryless, they were coming in and out of the granny flat I rented from my mother, moving in and out without my permission. What are you doing in my bedroom? Get out. I pay rent here, you've got no right to come in here without my permission. Oh, he says, Tanya, your mother and I are very worried about you. I said, my mother never worried about me in her life. I said, anything she says to you is mere show. Charged me $150, which in those days was a lot of money, to rent her fucking... Oh, no, sorry. It was $150 she charged me to live in the house with her. But when I moved into the granny flat, the previous tenant was paying $90. She increased the rent to $100. And I had to share one, it was a small granny flat with one bedroom. With my 2 children and the cats, we were squeezed into one room. And I did it because where was I going to go? I was completely broken down, preparing for death. My kids have no idea. Bring me a letter from the palliative team doctor. You little cunt, you spawn of my loins that I loved so much. You have no fucking idea how close to death your mother came, not just during your childhood, but even during mine. Many, many, many times. So you can grow up elitist and fucking glib and condescending and ruthless. I hope that ruthlessness only came about since this, but it must have been inherent in your soul for you to turn on me now in my time of vulnerability and need, with my bladder not right and exhausted and struggling. That ruthlessness must be who you really are now. Now you've shown me who you really are. As your mother, I can never look at you the same way again, even if we reconcile. That love that I used to conflagrate from merest embers after the last time you broke my heart, that love can't conflagrate anymore. I'm done. It's only smoke and ashes, baby. You killed my heart too many times. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to kill this heart. A great deal. This heart is, as I said, duct taped together by spiritual gold. It's almost unkillable. But you managed to do it, darling. You managed to kill your own mother's heart. And I'm letting it fly and blossom out and nourish other people now, people in the club that look at me with deep regard and affection. So you couldn't kill Mummy's heart. Mummy's heart opens and closes upon its own, almost its own gnosis, its own will. And it flows love to those who love me back, because I'm done loving the empty and the cold and the evil and the cruel and the callow. I'm done. If I'm pouring love and energy into someone, I want it to flow back to me in equal measure. The infinity symbol meeting in the 0 point field, joining together with deep, honouring, true, blessed love. Because anything else is just an illusion and a deception and a sadistic, perverted cruelty that I have reached a point in my life now I can no longer sustain. But anyway, that Mormon man came to me. My mother was trying to drive him from, she succeeded in driving him from his religion actually. But he said it had become so corrupt he could no longer participate in it. And I understood. I had the same thing with my community here, my Jewish community. The evil that was shown to me over and over again. So I understood. But he came to me and he said, "What's going on, Tanya?" I said, "I'm going to die soon. I'm willing myself to die. I can't go on any longer under these circumstances." And he went out and said something to my mother. Don't know what he said. He remained friends with her till he died, but he realised when he was dying, he got to meet my mother's true soul. All she wanted was his computer, ostensibly for me, which he did give to me, and his tools. She was going to his house and absolutely carpet bagging and vulturising all his possessions. That's what a true friend she was to him, by the way. Monstrous she was, and no doubt still is. So he realised then, he was starting to have the penny drops watching me turn my face to the wall. He realised then what he was dealing with. Anyway, he came back, and as fate would have it, he thought he was doing me a favour. I thought it would be a chance at a new life too. And he lent me the money to pay the bond. I would have got a bond loan through the Department of Housing. But anyway, he lent me the money. I think it was about $1,000, so I could move from frying pan to fire, literally. So I could move to Waterford West and rent a house behind my then new boyfriend, new love partner, Terry Rosilio. So that when that relationship went bad, he could threaten me and my children for 18 months, threatening to cut off our breasts and rape our eye sockets, so that Queensland Police at Logan could sit on their hands and do nothing to protect me and my children, so that we could be put through so much hell on earth that I ended up on a disability pension, unable to prosper or thrive or get out of that hell loop that I was put into since birth, right? Really, since fucking birth. But that 18 months living behind Terry Rosilio was a fucking training ground and a winnowing of my spirit. And I did indeed at one point come close to murdering him. And quite frankly, he deserved it. A man who threatens little girls with constant rape and mutilation deserves to be murdered. And I'll stand by that till the day I die, people. A bikie came to my door, a very, very tall bikie, and told me he was going to murder him. And what did I do? Protected that fucking arsehole, because I knew if he got murdered, the bikie and I would sit in prison for the rest of our lives, instead of the fact that a monster had just been cleaned off the face of the earth, we would have been vilified and attacked and demonised by our government. So I begged for that idiot's life. And you know what? I should not have. But that's how I found out that I'm both a pragmatist and actually a good person, because I let that motherfucker who threatened us for 18 months and got away with it live. And yes, I'm saying this on YouTube for all the world to see, knowing that I look like that they will twist my words and make me out to be the perpetrator, right, as they have always done. 2 fake DVOs put on me for trying to hold my ground and survive with my little children by monsters who robbed me of homes and businesses and ultimately my inheritance, rightful inheritance, more homes. So, Dr. or Father Malachi Martin, who's in heaven or the void or wherever doctors, fathers of the Catholic Church go, knows I have been protected by the Holy One in all manifestations, but only just scraping me through, literally by the skin of my own teeth. Knows my mana, my spiritual power is immense. If I actually knew how to tap into it fully, I would be dangerous, because I'd clean up this whole world like that, like an avenging angel, so that we could all merit a life of safety and of peace and of deep, deep love, so we could rejoice with each other in our little communities based on honour and integrity and respect and genuine, authentic protection and care for the marginalised women and children, pissed on and shat on and desecrated by the most profound evil ones, wearing the cloaks and their religious gabardine and their falseness and their lies. But it took 3 rabbis to defend me back in 1989 to 1991. So those 3 rabbis recognised my spirit even back then, saw me oddly in many ways as an equal, because they saw my innate goodness and purity. Well, I can't claim purity with immunity now, since for many years I gave up observing the Shabbat and danced wildly and shamanically on the Holy Shabbat. But back in those days when I was a observant, religious Jewish woman with her 2 little babies, those rabbis did honour me, treat me with deep, deep respect and genuine, heartfelt care, because they could see what was being done to me was evil. So that's enough about that rant now. That was then, this is now. The Tanya has become another version of herself, mostly old and weak and vulnerable, so her own daughter can kick me in the face, right? Well, hopefully she gets over that and it's only Mother Hydra's babies infesting her brain, which I hope not, because I don't wish that for my daughter. But when I see that level of malevolence, that's all I can interpret it as. Another infestation of the demonic kind. Because, by the way, when my mother was struck down with Alzheimer's at the end, discarded, so her greedy, evil, perverted stepdaughters could just take everything. Well, I was there for her, because that is what a daughter has the barest minimum duty to do. I was there for my monster. And who will be there for me when my time comes to leave this earth? Well, they've shown me their true colours. They're not there for me now. So I will be dying alone, very likely by my own hand, in spite of what the Catholics and the Orthodox Jews say. My death will be in my control, and it will be my dignity. And if that descends me into another hell loop for another eternity, so be it. I've already ridden through hells of the most unimaginable suffering in this life. It's what I do, isn't it? Someone just posted synchronicity Hell Room series, The Sanity Trap. Someone's listening to me upstairs saying, don't despair, Tanya. The beautiful life I promised you is coming, and you don't need to suicide to get off this bus, Gus, because I will lift you up from your gravel rash life and your brokenness, from your grief over your dog and your daughter. I will lift you up, and I will hold you precious. If no mortal man will ever love you fully and completely and truly, I will love you. Do you like how I made that nice little story up for myself? So life can be beautiful again, even for a moment. Triumph over oppression. Sometimes you've got to reframe and flip the script and verily, verily lie to yourself that life can again be wonderful. And it is wonderful. Listen to this. Little butcher bird singing me a little serenade. So all is not lost. Stay true to your earth, the birds, nature. God was in this place, even though I did not know it. Makom. Makom. So I'm a bit emotional this morning, and I'm not sure why, but oh well, it is what it is, people. Here we have memories, 26th of February 2023, excuse me. And my tea's gone cold. Took me an hour to give that little discourse and rant, and it's going to be a long video because we've still got to do today's readings. It is what it is. Today's readings are entitled The Becoming. Synchronicity, given what I was talking about before. Here's a photo of my beautiful dog. Looking out the door, probably looking at something that I couldn't see, as he was doing quite often in his later years. Not that he was old when he died, he was only 7 years and 9 months, but he was unwell, my beautiful boy. When you're unwell, you see the unseen and you see with absolute clarity who really loves you. And if you don't see or don't want to see, those motherfuckers show themselves, always reveal themselves, because evil has a contract where it has to show its true intentions. It always has to reveal itself ahead of time. So evil showed me that my daughter won't be there for me when I descend out of this body and this life. And it's good that I know that in a way now, rather than get a shock at the end and feel suddenly abandoned. I can still turn my life around if I am permitted more years on this planet. But by the gods, I'm only keeping people in my life who I know treat me with honour and integrity and genuine heartfelt care and decency. The rest can just go. I've done my apprenticeship of pain, many, more than one apprenticeships of pain actually. It's only so much one woman can take. February 26th, 2023, 10:31 p.m. I had a lovely day today. Robin, Peter and little Jaden and Michaela visited and brought us apple pies with whipped cream that had chunks of chocolate in it. Delicious. Because they know how much I love chocolate. I just finished off the last 2 apple pies for a very late dinner, as I have finally stopped polishing my newly cast Yoda, which I cast in sterling silver. After Robin and her family left, a young man arrived to buy my mother's old fur coat that I have had such difficulty in selling. He bought it for a costume to wear at a Bush Doof music festival in Melbourne. Delightful young man. Absolutely gorgeous he was. Delightful. I've spoken about that encounter with that young man in other videos, so I won't repeat it, but he was delightful. Then late in the afternoon, I took my torch and the gas bottles outside to my soldering station and managed to light the torch and melt the silver. But the canister that holds the mould started melting as the canister fell apart, so the molten silver flowed everywhere. So I had to start from scratch, remake the Delft clay mould. This time I clamped it down with a G-clamp. Then for some odd reason, the silver refused to melt, and it took me hours to achieve. The sun went down and I started to panic that I was wasting my time and it was going to be another epic fail. But I persevered and eventually the silver melted and I poured it triumphantly and gleefully into the mould. Perfect. Because no matter what, the force is with me. Is it not, Yoda? Yes, it is, my darling. The force, the Holy One in all manifestations, truly does have my back, although sometimes I don't realise myself how that is unfolding for me, or whose love is real, or what is going on. I really sometimes don't quite get it, even to this day. There's things that still were miraculous and make no logical sense. That was a very successful Yoda, even his ears formed. So I had many, many fails making Yoda, trust me. And I got so frustrated and distressed at my constant failure that the women, the wonderful jewellers in the Women's Metalsmith Collective, some of them said to me, "Don't be distressed, Tanya, you're actually doing remarkably well." I said, "What do you mean?" They went, "Casting is an advanced silversmithing skill and you're only a mere beginner. You've actually bitten off more than you can chew, even attempting that. We're so incredibly impressed and proud of you, and we can see that you're actually getting there. You're doing it." Had a lot of help from them, giving me hints on how to improve on forming the mould properly and getting the ears to form. But they stuck with me, those women. They were wonderful. I was throwing my epic berserker tantrums and flying into despair and my despotic rage at my own failures, as I do, because I really hate failing all the fucking time. I've failed at everything. I failed at being a mother. I failed at being a wife, which through no fault of my own, because I married a man that didn't really love me and was a fucking asshole. I failed at being a lover, again, because I drew in men who were monstrous and actually wanted to kill me, without a word of a lie or any exaggeration. I failed at university because of the rape threats, so with my trauma, I dropped out. I failed at jobs because people don't like my personality, because I'm defiant and I'm intelligent and I can see through the bullshit. So invariably I tell them and make myself a lot of enemies. It is what it is. I stand in my own authority and my own intelligence, by the way. I had the intelligence and the wisdom to know in the COVID epoch that we were being systematically destroyed. Again, I made a lot of enemies to myself, but I stood in my own light and authority, and hell, I'm such a decent, honourable woman. I even rang that idiot Dave, who was nothing but an asshole to me during our brief, love connection. Said to him, "Don't buy into the narrative, keep yourself safe." I'm a decent, honourable woman, believe it or not. Maybe I protest too much, maybe I'm delusional, maybe I deserve all the horror that was thrown at me over and over and over again. What do they say in the Christian religion? Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. That was their rationale for trying to kill me at every opportunity. But although I am an ancestral witch and a Jew and a shaman and a psychedelic dreamer, I'm actually a decent woman, a loving woman, and a courageous woman, the kind of woman I'd be happy to have on my team and at my back, holding me up when life got untenable. Sometimes I've had to pull people up literally by their hair. Well, I won't be doing that now. I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired of pulling up monsters by their hair and keeping them, blowing life back into them, mean, what did they gift me? Nothing but pain and treachery and suffering. And no, I'm not a Christ, and I'm not on my cross, as one former love interest said to me, which was also vicious. No, I don't do martyrdom, and I don't subscribe to that religion. But I will defend the right of every living being to be kept safe and to be kept precious and to be treated with honour and integrity for their own body autonomy, by the way. I defended that right when hardly anyone else would stand up and speak out. I spoke out, for which yet again I was demonised and vilified in the past 4 years. But I have the gods sustaining me and bringing me home to my tribe of people who see me and recognise my honour, my mana, and who love me so beautifully. They're out there in the world, struggling to make sense of it all, what we as a species were put through in the past 4 years. They're out there, and the force is with us. Here he is, my little Yoda man. Well, he's not a man, he's a fairy actually. Looks a bit blurry. Anti-earth, anti-humanist, fundamentalist Christians practically spitting on me when I went to Kilcoy to the markets, calling me demonic because my market stores, the theme is fairies. Well, who do you think protected and nourished this planet long before humanoids were seeded here? And who do you think will nourish and protect this planet long after we are gone, if that time shall arise? There's nothing demonic about the fairy realms. I'll tell you what's demonic: being rude to someone struggling on a stinking hot day with a very sick friend, trying to pull 2 markets together, being insulted by those members of the Christian faith. Where was Christianity in all that? Where was the milk of human kindness in that? And I sat there quite traumatised, struggling, and I put a prayer out, let my people come, and they came. A beautiful woman with her husband and 2 small children, wearing a waspy underbust, dressed gothic. My people. Those of us who've walked through darkness but still maintain our light. My people came and supported me. The only family in that whole stinking town that came and treated me and my friend Jared with kindness and actually bought from us too. Not that they had to, but that was the sweetness. The Holy One in all manifestations, on one of the darkest days of my life when I thought my friend might die in front of me, brought good people to our market stores to remind me, all is not lost, Tanya. I have your back and your front and your sides, and I will raise you up yet again when all seems lost and untenable. And thankfully Jared did not die, although he was quite ill that day, and we got home safely, but only just. Fuck, he nearly swerved out of lanes and crashed the car a couple of times. Oh, it was frightening. And with his male hubris, he wouldn't let me drive. Oh, Jared, I do love you though. Anyway, he's in recovery now. He's getting better. He's getting treatment for his diabetes, and I'm in recovery too. I will get the appropriate treatment for my bladder, and I will have a chance at a longer life on this planet if it works. And if not, I'm out of here because I'm done, she says for the millionth time. And I even have to laugh because as soon as I say that, the Holy One goes, "Nuh-uh, fool, I'm not letting you out of this life so easily. You're needed here." I don't know why I'm needed here. It makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. 7:21 a.m. Still in 20. I think I'm still in 2023. Yesterday I slept until 12:27 p.m. Today, less than 3 hours sleep. My mind would not shut down. It was like being melted in an incinerator, a slow burning rubber. Now I feel brittle and discombobulated. Robin and Peter are coming to visit for morning tea at 10 a.m. It's actually her birthday tomorrow. To get her a little present. Well, I don't have to. I want to get her a little present. I realised during my insomniac firestorm that it's Robin's birthday. They are bringing Robin's grandchildren for a visit. So isn't that sweet? Her idea of celebrating her birthday was to bring her little children to have morning tea with me. It wasn't my birthday. That's how much I am loved, people. Then at noon, some dude is coming. Some dude, well, he was quite some dude. Stood in the fur coat, he tried on and said to me, "I'm going to wear this to the bush doof without any clothes under, and I'm going to run around the bush in this fur coat, being animal. Do you think the girls will love it?" Oh my goodness, that young man, he was totally unconscious that he was conflagrating my long dead libido that hadn't flickered in a long, long time because I've tamped it down and avoided those kind of situations with any male. This young, beautiful man. "Do you think the young girls will love it?" And I went, whoosh. I could feel the steam shooting out the top of my head. That's how that man breathed life into me yet again. He was a great gift. I should have been paying him to take my coat since he flickered life back into my sexuality again, my long dead sexuality. I looked at him, I said, "Oh my darling," I said, "you have to get out of my house now. You're in extreme danger." No, I didn't say that. I thought it though. But I said to him, "Oh my darling," I said, "I'm sure the girls will absolutely love it." I said, "They will love it so much. You'll be very popular with the ladies." Like a mother, he was speaking to me. It was nothing creepy. He said, "Oh, do you really think so?" He was so astonishingly good looking too. I thought, someone has sent you to buy my coat as a favour to me, to both help me out financially so I can put that money into my silversmithing toolkit, but help me out as in spark up all my meridians and give me longer life, juice me up a little bit, and show me that my libido is not dead, it was just sleeping. He was a great gift, that young man. Wherever you are now, I can't remember his name now. Wherever you are, you're far too young for me, but oh, did you breathe life into this old lady hobbit body. And 2023, so that was a year ago. Takes a lot for a man to spark up my libido meridians. In fact, Simon, who was playing some weird fucked up game with me last year, he sparked me up too. We were both sparked up. He was messaging me going, I'm waking up every day with an erection. I went, of course you are, you're a man. No, you don't understand. I haven't felt this way in years. I went, oh bless, neither have I. You know, I wasn't buying into it too much because part of me knew it was just not going to go anywhere. But anyway, he gets COVID and he's messaging me, I'm so horny, I'm horny all the time, I can't stand it, I had to take a shower. I'm like, oh really, Simon? Oh really? Yeah, stand in the shower, it'll do you the power of good. Meanwhile, I was also feeling quite horny too. But never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I'm trying not to laugh. First I was crying, now I'm laughing. First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I saw somebody new. Or then I became somebody new. And I became strong. And I learned to get along. So don't come back from outer space with that dumb look upon your face, 'cause I'm done with malfeasant liars, cheats and game players. But you were sweet for a while, Simon, I'll give you that. You were a sweetness. And the spiritual energy between us conflagrated both our libidos. And I'm sure by now someone else is benefiting from that, Simon. And no one's benefiting from mine yet, because in true classic psychedelic dreamer, the Tanya Mamati style, I'm still holding it down, containing it, because it's a fire I'm only going to release for the one. It's a promise I made to myself some years ago, and I was thinking about releasing it with you, Simon. Thank you for not taking advantage of that opportunity, because it was handed to you on a plate. But I appreciate the respect that you didn't run with that, because you can't handle me, baby boy, and I understand. And the man that I perceive can handle me, because I've danced for his band for 13 years and I've seen his mana is not available. So I'll keep tamping myself down, grinding my libido down. I know it's very much alive now. It's a force of nature, and I'm looking forward to conflagrating it in the right time, the right place, with the right man sometime in the future, while I'm still alive and passionate and free and wild and carefree. Because apparently sex is very good in the next dimension, because you don't have bodies and you merge light bodies, and apparently it's still very amazing. Well, that's the stories they tell us, probably lies, you know. Apparently it can still be a wonderful thing, merging those light bodies, but I'm I'm a woman of the earth in this physical flesh form, and it's rare that I've had good sex with men because most men are not capable of managing my fire, but on the rare occasions that I did have wonderful sex with former lovers, it was wonderful enough to inspire me that one day I would find a partner that would be able to have healthy, honouring, respectful, but amazingly satisfying sex between him and I with him, and no other parties may come between that, because it will be a sacred tryst and a sacred trust based on deep, abiding, mutuality and love. But who am I? Only the psychedelic dreamer, dreaming as I do. You have to laugh sometimes. It gets a little bit funny. Anyway, I continue on from that young man who, by his delight and energy, showed me that old Mama T's not dead yet. In more ways than one, darlings. So sleepless Mama T, with her defragmenting brain, will be needing to watch her P's and Q's and dance in her small corner of barely synapsing hell. I should have gone dancing again last night. That would have killed me enough to slay me into moribund unconsciousness, but my old body won't let me kill it. Certainly won't. It continues to exist whether I sleep or not. Can we say zombie? Once a zombie, always a zombie, darlings. But you're looking at a revivified zombie, fleshed out, proud, happy in spite of my griefs and disappointments. At my core, I am always happy, and I'm always fiery, and I'm always blowing life back into either myself, pardon me, or someone close to me. So, got an urge to sing The Blower's Daughter, popped into my head. It's a beautiful song. Damien Rice. O was the album. That's how much I loved that. A couple of his songs that I bothered to remember his name, right? Ask me the names of the guys in Led Zeppelin, I can't tell you. Robert Plant, because I got screamed at by that malfeasant motherfucker Dave that I didn't know the names of the guys in Led Zeppelin. Well, I'm in love with Scott, but I don't know his surname. I don't know Luke and Paulie's surnames either. I know who they are. I've danced for them for 13 years. But I can't stalk them on the internet because I don't know their names. And they all three of them just now, if they watched my videos, all collectively went, phew. But no, I don't know people's names. Robert Plant, who is he? Anyway, for that lack of musical knowledge, I was sidelined and told that I don't have a nice personality and basically I'm a fuck knuckle, right? Yeah, all right, whatever. I don't care. Do you think I care? I talk about it just as out of a academic reference point so the world can see what kind of level of dickhead you were and are, but we all know, don't we, that I don't really care. There's more important things in life than knowing everyone's full names in every band you ever listened to. But Damien Rice, Volcano and Blower's Daughter, beautiful music. I cried when they played that song in that movie I watched. Oh, it was brilliant. About the stripper and... Oh, anyway, it was brilliant. I'm a woman of this earth. I'm down to earth. My demons may not always gel with your demons, though. Malachi Martin would have a lot to say about that. Malachi, come down from heaven and do me the honour of a nice exorcism so I can have my truly loving partner. Don't send me any pedophile gay priests, though, because I'll take umbrage with that. Even he spoke about how the church had been corrupted. He knew. He knew. We all know, don't we? The whole entire life on planet Earth is a complete inversion and a perversion. 2 million little children kidnapped every day to feed rich white pedophiles in America and around the first world countries. Sickening and evil, that is. On a happy note, it's a beautiful sunny day out there. It's hot. The wind's blowing through the trees. And I have to get on with this because I've got to spend some time with Charlie. She's calling to me. I might even bring her inside. It's very hot out there. Fuck it, let's bring her inside. Gotta look after my little baby. I've only got one baby left now. I have to be extra cautious. Keep her alive and sustain her. Who keeps Mama T alive and sustains her? My psychiatrist does, by his own sheer force of will. To you, Brian. Come on, Charlie. Come on. It's too hot out here and Mummy's just suddenly got an urge that you need to be with Mama. Come on. You want to come? Look at her. She's like, what? You want to come in the house with the air conditioning? All right, you're happy out here. All right. She's chosen. You want to come? Oh, no, you do want to come with Mama. All right, come on then. Come on. You're my little baby. Mummy worries about you being on your own too long, especially out in the heat, Charlie. It was a good idea this morning, but now it's not a good idea anymore. It's just too hot. Just remember, Charlie. She's just pooed on me. Oh. Just remember, Charlie. Love is the law. Yes, I know. Love is the law, Charlie. That's Thelema by Alistair Crowley, by the way. So Malachi Martin won't be doing any exorcisms for me. I'm a woman of the earth. I'm a realist and a pragmatist. Love truly is the law. Right. That's stuck in my flower and fell off. I've got to get more hair clips. That one just fell off. It's too loose. Should not have fallen off. Right, here we go. You want to be in here or you want to come and watch Mama make crazy videos for YouTube so they can all laugh at us? All right, here we go. Come, my darling. All right, she doesn't want to come with me. She's happy to be inside. She's singing. Happy to be inside in her cage. Just put my flower away. All right, where were we? Let's get back to business, people. Let's get back to business. Just let me cover up my bra straps. Right, here we go. 26th of February 2021. Try and put us back how I had you. The iPhone, I mean, not you personally, the iPhone. I actually looked at buying to become a more professional YouTuber. Do you love it? How I have these fantasies of being professional? It's really cute. It's adorable. But I actually looked at buying like a tripod to hold my phone the other day. They're about $40. Some of them are more expensive, but I don't need an expensive one. It's like, I don't think I need a more expensive one. But anyway, I had a look at them. I thought I might actually buy a tripod so I can make these videos and not have my hands go all over everything and fumble and fret and fuss. But you love me the way I am, don't you? So we'll work with what is for a while, babies. If YouTube actually ever monetize me, which they keep saying they're going to demonetize me, which is cute since they've never given me a cent of money for my mad life histories and ramblings, which is okay. It's like, I don't care if they pay me or not. Just keep my truth up on YouTube. I'm satisfied with that much. Don't demonize me. Don't desecrate me. Just let me do my thing, right? But if they ever actually paid me, can you imagine? I could buy myself a tripod and I could up my game. I could be a professional YouTube star in my dreams. But look, my friends enjoy watching my videos and my few YouTube audience, wherever you are on planet Earth. I don't even know who you are. I've had a few new subscribers lately, about 3. I don't know who they are. It could be anywhere. It could even be bots. Sometimes I wonder if they're real people, you know, because it's weird how YouTube doesn't tell you like who they are. Sometimes when I get a new subscriber, when they actually do, on rare occasions, tell me who they are, I go and have a look at their video. But yeah, I had one guy subscribe to me. He was a maniac. He really was a maniac. He was not well, that lad, going on about how all witches are demons and need to be burned. And I'm just sitting back kind of laughing at him in a way. I thought, oh, you poor soul. You poor thing, I pity you. I do. So mad with Christian dogma and psychosis and untreated schizophrenia. He was clearly an untreated schizophrenic. And anyway, he would have seen my videos where I was wearing my pentagram t-shirt about being a witch and being one with the earth and, you know, one with nature, which is what really witches are about. They're actually very good people by and large. I mean, you're going to get evil ones like you get evil in any religion, but by and large, they're decent, earth-loving, honouring people. Anyway, he would have seen my video and he freaked out and he unsubscribed. It's like, okay, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, honey. Like, do I look bothered? If you're watching my videos, it's because you gain something nourishing or self-determining or inspiring from it just by watching me survive my own traumas and struggles. And or alternatively, you're a sick motherfucker with schadenfreude. I'm conscious that's probably a few of those amongst my subscribers. But even that says more about your spirit than it does about mine, babies. So it doesn't bother me. If you've subscribed and you enjoy my videos and you get something out of it and you learn something or you grow something, Simon's case it was an erection, what can I do about that? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I'm not responsible for your libido or your actions or your intentions or your dishonour. They're yours. Own your own shit is what I'm saying. I try very hard every day to own my own shit. Try very hard to not project it on other people too, but I admit I occasionally do that too. I'm only human after all. 26th of February 2021. Some little bug climbing on me. I have been pushing myself hard. So this is 3 years ago. I've been pushing myself hard in recent days, weeks. In addition to my Facebook statuses and YouTube channel, I have been putting myself out on a limb with my Spiritual Circle podcast on Anchor and Spotify. I should actually have a look at that. I don't think anyone listens to it. I really don't. But I might get a surprise and find I've got a few new people listening to that. But I have to have a look at it. I haven't looked at it in a long time. I put it out there into the world and just let it be its own magic, like you do with any baby you birth into reality. Put it out into the world, raise it up and let it go to create its own magic and be its own creativity. Because energy never lies and energy never dies, people. I have finally embraced the modern technological age, even though, to be fair, I am not very good at podcasting or YouTubing either. It's just one more thing I'm not very good at, along with breathing, right? What does Quentin Crisp say? If at first you don't succeed, give it up, because failure is your style. Words to that effect. Well, I'm not giving up, and I'm not ceding, and I'm not yielding. I keep doing what I do in spite of my own failures and inadequacies. And I'm holding my head up high and strutting my stuff, babies. Just like I strut my stuff with my shamanic dance. I'm thinking I should dance more often, but it takes a while for me to recover after each dance, so I might also think again about being gentle with my body and my psyche and being kind to myself. But that urge to dance is formidable. Fucking-dable. It's life force and its chi and its wildness and its joy and its triumph over oppression and its love and its mana and its me. But I am trying, sharing my life with 7 billion humans and however many non-human entities might be listening from the ether. I am no longer afraid to make a fool of myself or express my authentic truth, no longer afraid to fail, as in the words of Quentin Crisp. Failure is my style. I mentioned that just a few moments ago without reading my own writings, so my brain, after all these years, still remembered that was referenced. So, powerful brain with excellent memory. Starting to feel a little bit crazy here, but anyway, that's how I roll, babies. And I am upstyling, upgrading, evolving past all societal mores and a bitter cynicism and abject horror. I have hope for my future, even if I cannot quite monetize or grasp it yet, but in the eternal now, I am enough. I am healthy, wealthy, truly loved, cherished, valued, and protected. I am safe, and from that space of equanimity bursts forth creativity and growth, blossoming in all paradigms. Yay! Well, it's my manifestation, so I must allow the multiverses to hear me and or see me and take me seriously enough to grant my highest ideals and visions. It's 3:38 a.m, so time for psychedelic dreamer, sweetheart, lunatic to dream ever more magnificently until the time comes when the dreams are reality and I have achieved all the things I most desired in this incarnation. With harm to none, let it be done. And I might add, with competition with none too, as I'm not in competition with anyone, people. I'm just trying to live my best life as graciously and gently as possible, with harm to none and competition with none, for my most beneficial outcome. I've been working some of the New Age epithets and prayers, and you know what? Can't hurt. Might come true one day, might not, but it can't hurt. If you don't impact on another person's free will, then you're not being hurtful and you can stand in your own honour and integrity, right? Am I right? I'm right. Blessed be my beautiful fellow earth travellers, my angels and my loves. The Tanya is becoming. Here's a photo from 2021. We are walking to Whites Hill Shopping Centre so I can withdraw the cash for the lawn mowing man. It's hot and it's an hour's walk there and back. Mad dogs and New Zealander women go out in the midday sun. Might grab a coffee while I'm there. And here we are. My beautiful boy and my beautiful girl and me. My car must have been broken down that I had to walk there. Oh, he was a pain in the ass, that man. But anyway, completely in lust with me he was. It's disgraceful how he used to speak to me, but anyway, I fired him in the end. 26th of February, 2020. Love, the little plant with the white flowers, is spreading itself around my back steps like a weed. I give up on ripping it out. Love can stay, follow its own life circle, thrive. I think I meant cycle, but anyway, life circle, life cycle. Oh, you can't see it. Wait a minute. We've got to scroll up. Here it is. Little flower there. Spreading like a weed. Delightful. Jared came to visit and said, "You keep ripping the love out." "Stop it," he said. "You've wanted love all your life and you keep tearing it out." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he showed me that little weed is called love. I laughed my ass off. I said, well, I better let it live then from now on if I want love to keep flowing to me beautifully. Better stop tearing it out of my own heart and soul and value it and nurture it and cherish it when it comes to me. Authentic, juicy, desiring, genuine, mutually exclusive, chosen love. My baby, my gorgeous baby, my gorgeous man. Well, tamp that down again, Tanya. Tamp that down. You have to laugh. 26th of February 2019. Something beautiful to brighten our evening, which I will not tamp down because it's a delight and I rejoice in my little delights on planet Earth. There she is. The night flowering pink water lily, which they haven't flowered again this year. I don't know why. Disappointing. But what a beauty she is. At Garden City, I feel triggered and exhausted. This is 2020, people. But push myself to go to the shops. I bought 2 pillows and a mattress protector, so that is one base covered. I need to go to Woolies for a few food items. I abhor supermarkets. Yes, I do. Always have and always will. Don't know what that's about. None of my abuse actually happened in a supermarket, to my knowledge. So I don't know why I'm triggered by supermarkets, but I've always been that way, even as a young girl. Not in the mood for it at all, but I need tea and some pumpkin to cook with my roast chicken later. Garbo is so big it is overwhelming. I will get what I need and get back home ASAP. I don't feel right. On a happy note, I found a rebounder, on the curbside collection on my drive out here, so that would make a good pet bed in the garden. Just need a cushion for it. The universe has provided well. Grateful woman, smiley face. It's curbside collection happening again. I'm going to have to go walking around the neighbourhood and see what goodies I might find. One woman's trash is another woman's treasure sometimes. I have felt very triggered today. Trying to buy food was impossibly hard. I ended up by disassociating in both Woolies and Aldi and had to get home as I felt very unwell. This is another reason why human men probably can't cope with me. My flubbery brain that my spirit leaves its body on occasion. Here's what triggered me, right? I am glad Cardinal Pell, has been found guilty though. I hope his appeal is quashed. I am home safe. I am loved. I am safe. But my head feels like cotton wool and 1,000 tiny spiders are eating my brains. What else can a zombie child sexual abuse survivor expect from life? Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question. Not feeling well today. I wanted to go to the shops, but really can't be bothered. I might rest today. Everything can wait. I've been pushing myself too hard, like the Mustang Quay that I am. I just got caught in a lovely shower of rain. Refreshing. 26th of February 2018. We are sitting outside by candlelight, drinking cold Chateau d'Eau. Water, people, water. Listening to Paul Simon, watching an electric storm gathering around us. Formidable, fabulous. Before Mother Hydra's babies turned my daughter into a complete fucking monster. My beautiful girl. There she's cuddling my hen, I think it was Tabitha, and Beauregard at her feet. She wasn't very kind to Beauregard. She could be quite fucking vicious to him, quite frankly. But she was kind to the chicken. Oh, the irony. the redemption of the soul. The chicken will speak and say, "But she gave me a lovely cuddle, Mama T. She could be sweet when she wanted to be, Mama T." I know, chicken, I know. I try not to let the darkness supersede the love and literally bury me alive. But it's hard, you know, it's really fucking hard. Got an ant climbing on me now. 26th of February 2017. I want to scream, I want my daughter back, but what am I going to get back? Something that is so vicious and cruel to me that when I tell her I think I'm dying, that she kicks me in my face? Do I want that back? Do I really want that in my life? No, I don't. Tells me my younger daughter earns $100,000 a year now, and don't worry, Mummy, she's okay. Because it's all about the money, isn't it? And the prestige and the material things. Where's the love for me, their mother, who struggled to raise them alone in dire poverty? Where's the merest scraps of love? Is it any wonder that from time to time I get a bit suicidal when I look at my entire life and all the shit that was flung at me? Is there any fucking wonder? Oh, but suicide's a big sin and you seed your soul. Well, what's the difference? I've already lived in hell in this life. What's the fucking difference? But I'm living out my life in the vague hopes that true love will come to me and choose me and be honourable to me at long last. And that I'll have joy in my late stage of life before I finally shuffle off this mortal coil. And that I'll be surrounded by such immense love that even I will think I'm living in a dream world, because it'll be so astonishingly different to all the love partnerships I'd ever had before that I won't be able to quite believe it myself. But this time it won't be a fantasy, but it'll be real and heartfelt and mine. Jesus. Sorry, Jesus, if you're out there somewhere, you know what I mean. Don't mean to blaspheme you. You're not my God, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say, Jesus. Wake up, Tanya, and smell the hummus. It may never happen. Be real, be true, honour thine own spirit. You fought for her so long and so hard. Don't cede to fantasy land now, at the appointed hour, at the appointed time, when everything is hanging on the balance between life and death by a fingernail. Okay, I'll try not to. Mana. Hold on to my mana, no matter what. 26th of February 2017. Beauregard made friends with a little Jack Russell named Rusty. Rusty doesn't like entire dogs usually. Entire meaning he still had his balls, right? Beau abhors most other dogs and can be quite savage to other dogs. So it was with much consternation when I lost focus and let go of his leash by accident. So he marched on down to the river to meet Rusty. I bolted after him, but they were fine. My God, it's suddenly really hot in here. They actually enjoyed playing together. Phew, Rusty's owner, named Vicky, was very nice. Said she was surprised Rusty played with an undesexed dog. So they were both entire at that point in time. I need to get my fan. My goodness. Then I observed a storm blowing in from the north, so I headed home. Nothing happening here. Damn, I was hoping for rain. So now I'm making banana bread in my bread machine from the lady fingers from my garden. Lovely. I hope it turns out. Lady fingers, for those of you who don't live in the subtropics and don't know anything about bananas, are tiny little bananas. They're so little and tiny, and they grow, in clumps like bananas, but they're very small and they're very sweet. They're sweeter than the normal Cavendish long bananas. And they grow quite prolifically here in Queensland, and I have ladyfingers. You're looking at them here. In fact, there's some fruits forming. You can just see some little fruits there forming. So they're lovely ladyfingers. It is beautiful by the river. This was at West End River, but so very quiet. The only sounds are the waves gently lapping the pontoon when the occasional boat or jet ski goes by. Almost feels like we are the only living beings left on the planet. Twilight zone, laughing my ass off. Sitting under a tree, living in the moment with my dog god, smiley face. And I wasn't feeling very mentally well that day, but I kind of looked lovely. I was there yesterday for West End drumming, and it was astonishing because Belinda said that she was going ahead with drumming because the forecast was for fine weather, even though it had rained all morning and was grey. And I did indeed see the weather perk up, so I put my drum in the car, and as I'm driving to West End, it started pouring with rain. It takes me about 20 minutes to drive there. And it poured so much with rain that there was very little visibility even on the road. It was actually quite astonishing. It come almost out of nowhere from blue skies. And I kept driving, and I thought to myself, you should pull over to the road and see if Belinda's cancelled drumming, right? But it was kind of too late to cancel. So I thought, I'll keep driving and I'll deal with it when I get there safely, right? So I drove there. I got there a little bit early, like started at 4:30, so I got there like 20 past 4, got there a little bit earlier. And it was teeming with rain. I thought, oh, well, this is a wasted trip. I've wasted petrol coming out here. It's just nonsensical. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. But something said to me, just wait, Tanya. So I got out the car, got my umbrella, and I pulled out my drum, and I proceeded to walk to where we normally have our drumming. And a woman came up, a couple of women with a child came up to me. The woman said to me, oh, are you here for the drumming? I said, yes, but it's teeming with rain. But I said, don't worry, the weather usually smiles upon us. The gods are usually kind to us. She's looking at me because I sound crazy the way I say the gods, right? It's how I operate, people. I'm attuned with the gods. Truly I am. I said, I have a feeling that this is a shower and it will pass, although it's not looking very good at the moment. I said, so I'll just proceed. And I had messaged Belinda, and she said it was too late to cancel, so she was still coming down with her husband, even though it was raining. And I said, well, I've got my umbrella. I was trying to figure out how we were going to drum in the rain, even hold an umbrella up and drum. So there was a little bit of hesitancy, right? And then shortly after that, Belinda and Bill arrived, and she said, oh, it's raining, but I think it will pass. I think it's just a shower. And I looked at her, she looked at me, we knew. We're very attuned with the weather, her and I. We're both trauma survivors. We're both very spiritual. And we just have this kind of innate knowing. I can't explain it, but it's lovely. She's a devout Christian, very religious Christian, and or goes to church regularly at least. And I'm a Jew, but not quite so devout now. Let's be real here. But anyway, so we just looked at each other, and there was this knowing that passed between us. And the woman, the new person that came with her daughter and grandson, looked at me and could see this knowing pass between us. It was quite beautiful, actually. She said, Michaela's coming with her little boy, toddler, little baby boy, Vlad. He's about to turn 3. I said, that's good. The only thing I'm worried about, if it keeps raining, how we're going to do this. So meanwhile, while we're speaking, and I started helping unload their car, the sun came out and the rain just dissipated almost instantly. And the new ladies that came, I think she looked to me like she was part Māori, I might be wrong, but she kind of looked at me astonished. I said, yes, the gods have smiled upon us yet again, as they frequently do when we have our drumming circles. I said, we had to cancel last month. The weather was too bad, but I said, here we are yet again. I was thinking about giving up today. I said, blue skies and the rain's moved off. We all looked at each other in amazement. Michaela arrived with her little boy, and she said, there was no visibility on the road. I only had 1/2 metre visibility in front of me. I said, yes, it was astonishing. I said, but look, the sun has come out. And we all stared at each other. Michaela's from Romania, and I think she's a Christian, I'm not sure. She's constantly going to spiritual retreats though, so she's very spiritual. So she looked at me, again we all nodded. It's kind of a gathering of the spiritual people, right? Which was a bit confronting for the new people because they could see the way we kind of look at each other. Anyway, the sun was out. We sat down, we did the drumming, and the new lady, 2 ladies with their little boy joined in, which was lovely. And then a young man, quite a handsome-looking young man, covered in tattoos, very dark-skinned, had an accent. I couldn't pick his accent, but that doesn't matter. Stood, and actually Belinda had already spoken to him, but he stood back but kind of watched me, not just me, but, us, but he was mainly focused on me, just watched me, which I found a bit confronting, actually. So I looked at him a few times, it sort of frowned, my resting bitch face frown, and kind of gave him a little smile of encouragement because I thought maybe he wants to join in, but he's shy. Anyway, he kept looking down at his phone, and then after quite a long while, about 15, 20 minutes, he came and stood beside me and again was focusing on his phone. It was a bit odd. And then finally I said, you're welcome to join us if you like. Oh, yes, he said. So I think he was waiting for someone else to arrive, but that obviously stood him up, as sometimes happens in life, And then so when it came to doing, because he arrived quite late, so we were up to the part where Belinda brings out her handpan, and plays beautiful music for us, and then we distribute all these Suzuki toning chimes, and we all, press the chime and have the tones, and it's actually very beautiful and soothing and quite magical. If you close your eyes, the tones along with the music of the handpan sounds like you have fairies dancing around you and playing. The music is almost magical and ethereal. It's really gorgeous. So I turned to this young man who I could see wanted to join in but was shy, or I don't know what the fuck his deal was, anxious. Well, we've all been there, haven't we? I have extreme anxiety most of the time. So I said to him, don't just stand there, young man, take a chime and join in. And I handed him the F4, which was a very heavy chime, and he was standing. It was quite heavy. After a while, he said, "This is actually quite heavy." I said, "All right, we'll swap." I gave him my smaller one, and I took the heavier one since I was sitting, you know. He was a nice young man, but it was very strange how he just sort of hovered around me and soaked up my energy, basically, and kind of stared a bit, you know. I don't know what that was about, but oh well. In true Tanya style, I just said, "Look, enough of that mooning over me," kind of. I didn't say it that way, but he got it. He got what my intention was. Enough hanging around mooning over me. Participate or rack off kind of thing. I didn't say it that way. I did it nicely. But even Michaela was kind of looking at me like, "What's going on?" I don't know. Just go with the flow, babies, as I do in life, you know. Anyway, he was a nice young fellow. And another older man, like my vintage, joined in too, brought his drum and joined in. And he kept peering at me with one eye like this, which was odd. I think probably the sun was in his eye and he was trying to look at me, but the sun, I don't know what that was about. So that was odd because he kept looking at me, one eye peering at me. And anyway, we finished up, and Michaela had a friend arrive, and she kind of dismissed me a bit, said, "Oh yes, yeah, I'm going to go with my friend now." I felt like I was being dismissed, like a school mum teacher breaking up the class. I didn't care. It's finished, it was time to go, and we'd all had our little chats, you know. So I hopped in my car and I came home, and I actually thought, what the fuck was that? But the magic happened. Not that I'm angry with Michaela dismissing me, don't get me wrong, I couldn't care less. People do that, you know, when I be with their own friends. It's okay. But the magic happened in that the weather literally shone down upon us, and the sun came out and the blue skies, and we were able to have our, you know, monthly drumming circle, which we haven't had for 2 months. Pardon me, because it got cancelled last month. So yes, it was quite wonderful and a bit of an outing for me to get out of the house. And it's lovely by the river. Oh yes, that's the other funny thing. I was looking across the river, and there was a man, and he was putting out nets or crayfish pots or yabby pots or something. I saw him putting out. But at one point I looked at him, and he was wearing like white trousers. Couldn't quite see him clearly, but I could see his white trousers that he was wearing, dark hair. And at one point it looked like he was literally walking on the water. It was just perspective, just from the distance of me looking across the wide expanse of the river at him. And I actually said out loud, I said, "Holy crap," I said, "that man looks like he's walking on water like Jesus." And then the new lady that had joined our circle looked, and he had moved by then. I said, "Oh, he's moved now." I said, "We've lost that moment," but it looked like he was literally floating on top of the water. And she turned to me. I said, "I'm not on any substances, I promise." But I said I had to say something because it was astonishing. And then she watched him too, and she said, "Oh yes, I can see why you thought that. It does look a bit like that when he was walking around, you know." And I said, "I'm having a mystical moment." And I said, "What with the weather smiling upon us, and now I'm seeing people walking on water." I said, "What a day," you know. Even she had to laugh. Anyway, so that was that. That was a funny moment. Life is weird, people. Embrace all of it, even the weirdness. There's a message in it somewhere for someone. Well, anyway, I had a reading many years ago from someone, I can't remember who. I saw so many readers over the years in my despondency and deep grief and trauma and despair. But one of them said to me one time, "The man you end up with when you're 60," they said, "will think you walk on water." I said, "Why would he think that? I'm not a Christian. I'm not I'm no more good or spiritual person than the next person. I said, I carry my darkness with me like a fucking snail shell everywhere I go. Sometimes I shuck it off, sometimes I conflagrate it, but I'm a mortal being. She says, he will think you walk on water, Tanya. I said, oh, well, how delightful. Someone that loves you that much, they can overlook your flaws. So anyway, that was another fantasy fed to me to keep me shackled to planet Earth, living against hope that one day my king would come to my queen and be my man. And what a fantasy, my people. What a fucking fantasy. But it's a nice one, and I'm holding on to it like candy floss at a fairground attraction, because it's got to be perfect and it's got to be worth it. Don't you think? Here's Bobo's happy face taken that same day at the park at West End. This was 2 years before I started to go to West End drumming, by the way, because I started going there just after my ignominious, evil, heinous, torturous, cruel, sadistic, perverted gallbladder surgery. Well, it was pre-admission, it was the triggering part. They were so evil towards me. It was foul. Anyway, that was in 2019. Here's Bobo at the pontoon back in 2017. So, he was about 18 months at that time. So I got him in. He was born in October 2015. So yes. 9:56 a.m. Finally awake and out of bed, ready to greet the day. I'm planning to have a shower, then drive to West End and take my bow, for a long walk along the river. Lol, because I very rarely go for long walks. Just saying. Well, I'm always fucking tired, aren't I? I missed out on dancing last night due to exhaustion, but there is no reason why my dog must suffer. If I get too tired, we can always sit by the river and watch the world go by. I got no money, but I got petrol. No lover, but a being that loves me unconditionally, even if he thinks I am annoying sometimes. Four-legged ones do not care if you are isolated, ignored, rejected, or abandoned, or betrayed. They love you anyway. So off we go on an adventure. If I had a bit more cash, I would have taken myself and my dog to Byron. But, schmeh, it is always something to yearn for. Money and all luck, love and luck. In the meantime, I manufacture my own happiness from a fractured life. Spiritual gold welding the cracks of my existence together with light, hope, blessing, and trust in myself that even though I am often alone, I am loved by invisible beings that brought me to this place of healing, knowledge, and peace. Feeling utterly exhausted after all that sleep yesterday, bloody bollocking, time-fighting, space bandit, oxygen thief, Tanya is killing me. Pardon me. At least I had a nice morning with the bow. Just need to rest and accept my body is clambering on the craggy downward track to oblivion. Hopefully when my tooth is completed with the root canal BS, I will feel better. Wow. I went to sleep at 6 a.m. Saturday morning, woke up at 2 p.m, then went back to bed at 7:30 p.m, finally fell asleep at 9, woke up at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, Facebooked for a while, then passed out again, now awake at 6 a.m, about 15 hours sleep. I really needed to reset and restore my brain too. Beautiful morning. Last night was the first time I slept without a fan blasting air at me and blaring noisily in my ears. Blissful to have a cooler night at last. Thank you, God. This was the worst summer for me, with all the tooth pain, bad health, poverty blues, and stinking excessive heat waves. I almost didn't survive it. I almost didn't. It was a very bad year, 2017 and 2015. Oh, dear goddess. I hope I have turned a corner and I will be able to improve soon, to improve again. I lost Mushu. He hasn't come in 5 days. Very sad, but hopefully he's found a better life for himself, as cats do. I still feel a bit weary, so I might have another snooze. The air is fresh and cool, and it tickles my skin so luxuriously. I might as well lie here and enjoy it. 26th of February 2016. Sitting in my garden, sanding back these wooden planks, I put some glow-in-the-dark resin in the carving, but it went all lumpy and set too quick, so this is as good as it gets. I will varnish them later. Then put the homemade paper in, and it will be my book of shadows, or grimoire. It isn't really. Didn't end up turning that into anything either. Never mind. Or a photo album. Haven't decided yet. I am in some stomach pain, but after taking some Gaviscon, I have burped less. Time to recover from the shock and broken heart and the pain of my entire life, hanging like a musty hag over my head. Thank God for Seroquel, which knocks me out. I had interesting dreams too. I did once beg God to kill me if I ever fall in love with another monstrous psychopath named David. I knew I could not survive another broken love affair that was emotionally destructive. So here I sit. Azrael is crooking his finger at me, leading me in one of our tangos. Hurry up, you prick. It's enough already. Azrael's been the longest prick tease of my entire life, since he always tangos with me, brings me to the brink of death, then pirouettes me back into full vibrancy again. It's astonishing, but true. Many, many times. Very ill again, bad acid reflux burning into my stomach, really upset myself. Drinking a whole bottle of wine with the extra Seroquel, which barely made me tipsy as I was so distressed that it has, as I was so distressed, it has caused acid reflux. I have been drinking heaps of water and no more wine yesterday, but the stomach is still reactive. Oh well. It's probably got a lot to do with the drugs they give you when they do the root canal work too. Upset my stomach flora as well. It's all a feedback loop, isn't it? It's constant suffering is what it is. Still got my teeth, what's left of them though, by the gods. I am sleeping heaps and will get through this new bout of physical and or emotional pain. Life goes on and on until one day it doesn't. That will be such a relief. Truly will be one day. But every day in every way I choose life, choose my beloved friends, and maybe one day a love partnership, and choose to focus on the beauty and the magic and the awe that is planet Earth. Sunshine, even amongst the grey clouds, sunshine and happiness will continuously percolate in my soul. That's my work, people. Finding things to be happy about, even amidst the darkness and the misery at times. That is my gift from the gods. 26th of February 2015. Friends come and friends go, but always the truth remains. I fall on my sword, bloodied, accused of insanity, insulted, degraded, scapegoated. Tonight I pulled out the axe and I offered it back to that community, Brisbane Jewish community. It was never my wound or my axe. They can own it back. They can deny, betray, lie, undermine, but own it. I know there are those who know I always speak the truth, and I have harmed no one except by standing up for the truth and the protection of others, specifically our children in our community. Either walk beside me in truth and honour, or leave my life. I have no time for fake friends anymore. I am done. Too much damage and harm has been done to me and mine. The repercussions which have led to a never-ending cascade of trauma. I could shut up and die, lie down again, and sleep the sleep of the undead, and one whom is silenced and shamed and disgraced for no good reason other than evil wants the good and kind to die. But I won't. I'm stubborn like that. I know better. I always knew there was as much good in the world as there is evil, even in my community. I believe in good people, genuine people. I know they are out there. I know what we fight for. I know what it has cost us all. Welcome to Queensland, the Sunshine State, home to corruption, cowardice, and government-sponsored genocide. This was written in 2015, long before COVID became a thing, by the way. Isn't that weird? Mama T, always, always the canary down the mine, singing my song, screaming my truth, demanding justice, natural justice, freedom and peace, body autonomy and safety for people like me. In fact, for people everywhere, even at times my enemies. because we are humans. Some more demonic ridden than others, but we are still humans. They don't support traumatised women and or our children. In fact, they hope we eventually kill ourselves to save Abbott's budget on disability pensions. They actively support pubs and clubs who persecute the few women who dare to try to enjoy their lives by dancing and socialising, treat us like sluts and whores, sell us drinks, then humiliate us at our own expense. No honour, no integrity, just putrid harassment. When a lone woman such as myself says no to being raped, brutalised and humiliated, she is told, too complex, too hard, too much. This is how they obfuscated their roles, the Licensing Commission, by the way, the cowardly dogs. This isn't just happening to me. I am the one who stood up to be counted as an equal, as a human being. Irish Murphys is evil. They know I know it. I hope more women come forward and more women fight. Oh wait, we are too complex, quote unquote. You cowardly motherfuckers, you dogs. Too unimportant, too demanding of justice. She who must be ignored, vilified, harassed and sold down the river. She has many faces. She is you and me. Get up, women. Take a stand. Not one had my back. Not one. They must enjoy being raped and fingered and molested and attacked. They must enjoy their victimhood. Sick and evil and perverted it was. And probably in that space still is, if truth be known. Irish Murphys wins. Anti-discrimination says the case is too complex, which is a polite way of saying women are too annoying and we don't support you. I did nothing wrong, but the state conveniently scapegoats me again. It's a man's world and they know I can't afford a civil court case. Fuck them. Fuck the fuckers. So Irish Murphys gets away with abusing women and tells us after gigs to get fucked in the pussy. Allowing us to be bashed, sexually assaulted and sell us drinks just prior to kicking us out, saying we've been banned, which no one informed me of that, by the way. So they can degrade and humiliate us. What a bunch of mofos. Unbelievable. On a happier note, the woman who took it upon herself from the pub and casino to stalk and harass me by telecommunications, that will be Lana, is being charged. For the first time ever, the police are taking action on my behalf. Too little, very late, and I had to fight even to be heard, but this is something positive at last. 26th of February 2014. I wish I had a nice bottle of wine right now or some JD in the house. I'm missing my Bella and Zulu. I moved my laptop and for some reason moved my feet out of the way of the spot she used to sleep in under my couch. It was a moment as if she was still alive at my feet. Then I realised it was my shoes, and I felt so empty without her. Meanwhile, Miss Penny is sitting on the arm of the modular lounge, watching me type this and purring. I'm lucky to still have her at least. Tonight, when I got home from Crystal's place, I had the car door open and was perusing Facebook or something on my iPhone. Penny climbed into the car, walked over me on the driver's seat, sat under the front passenger seat and sniffed and looked at me, said, "Meow," and then clambered out again. She loves cars as long as the engine is not on. Strange little cat. Woke up at 4:30 p.m, had to take 50 milligrams of Seroquel to get to sleep as I was body fatigued, but my brain was chugging on without me. I hate when that happens. This just after I told my doctor that I took myself off Seroquel and only need it to settle me to sleep. Lol. He said I am mid-cycle in my mood patterns, so he was right. Again, clever man. I slept from 7 a.m, so well rested, now a tad euphoric, so dressed, watering the garden, helped Crystal with her received English accent for an audition. It was funny being a pom for half an hour. Hers is better than mine, naturally. Life is good. I am hungry though. I am driving to Crystal's to pick up Ramon, as I am grandson bunny sitting for 4 days. We shall have super fun. Tally ho, oh old chaps and girls. Not sleeping, so popped some Seroquel to settle my mind. I dictated some notes on my iPhone. Really cool, except it doesn't understand my accent, so I have to edit as I go. 26th of February 2012. I was too depressed to stay on my own today, so Lynn came, picked me up, took me back to her place for company and a lovely swim, then drove me home again. It is much appreciated. 26th of February 2010. Thank you to all my lovely friends for your tender love, concern and support. You all have given me much strength in my time of trial. Kiss, kiss, kiss. That was as my mother was slowly dying. She died about 9 days later. I'm happy to report that my eldest sister Angela arrived at 7 a.m. this morning from New Zealand to offer some support for this dreadful time. No, she gave me very minimal emotional support. In fact, made it all about her and, it was awful. What can you expect from fucking narcissists though? It's just fucking constant. We visited Mum together, which of course was hard for Angela. She has not seen the gradual decline as I have. Mum's been given 10 to 12 days or up to 3 weeks to live. She was dead 9 days later. So very accurate timing, wasn't it? I'm praying that Hashem shows her his infinite mercy and takes her earlier. Nothing to do now but wait. And thus concludes today's writings from the 26th of February 2024. It's been a bit of a mixed bag, as Dave Charles would say, because he's a callous, lackluster, low-level entity. I've been a bit too emotional, and that's how I roll, babies, and love me, love my mental states. I flow up and down like an ever-cycling spiral. But if I'm down, I flow up, and if I'm up, I will inevitably, according to the circumstances, flow back down. But I'm always in a state of flux, people, and somewhere in the middle point, if you love me, you find me delightful and you flow with me and you forgive me my flubbery, cascading, traumatic ways. And some of you who love me deeply enough might even embrace me and keep me precious and claim me for your own one day. Not some of you, one of you. And my true friends adore me and value me for my contributions of heart, body, mind and spirit. My soul belongs to God, but sometimes He lets my soul shine through and manifest mana, spiritual power and joy and delight and mischief and great, immense love. And when that happens, it's the purest of magic and the purest of holiness and the purest of delight. Some of you have witnessed that happen for me in my life too, or contributed to it, or been immersed in it. So it's a life, people. It's a life and it's a living and it's a being and it's a becoming. So have a beautiful, blessed, magical, awe-inspiring, joyous day. Kisses from the Tanya and her sacred space at her Titania's realm that is guided and protected by the fairy realms. Queen Titania, my namesake, who was actually a Titan, not so much a fae, but a Titan goddess at one time. So there is that. But we, my friends, are not demonic. We are love and light and truth and pure spirits of delight and playfulness and joy and indeed triumph over oppression and adversity. So fuck the kinds of Christians that think the fairies are demonic. You're wrong, so wrong. And when you reach your maker one day, you will find that out for yourselves in your own good timing. Blessed be. Let peace remain amongst us all on planet Earth, even the ignorant and blind-sided ones. Let love be our true religion and our true spirit. Real love with real authentic people who are capable of sharing that love and spreading it like a contagion of great joy and comfort and ease and peace amongst all inhabitants of planet Earth, not just us humanoid two-legged ones. The Tanya has spoken. Bye for now. God's bless.